Good evening all, hope you're doing well. We are in a state of fear right now, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that this fix, um, I think it may well be coming down. It was at 5%, it went to 4, and now it's 7%. So I'm looking at pound USD and like cross dollar, and they're trying to bottom. So it looks like we may see like a USD sedation, where the dollar's going to be sold off, so then it can stop acting as a wrecking ball, and then that VIX will come down. So I think this is probably likely going to retreat, but we'll wait and see. The indices are looking quite heavy, and we had a commentary from Kashkari, and he's very hawkish, and is like one of the biggest hawks in from the Fed speakers. So we had a bit of a combination, but I think it wasn't necessarily his comments, but perhaps what the herd have done on the indices, and they've actually gone quite long. So we're in a state of fear, and we're below -20, so that's good because the normal, in speech marks, sentiment of the big picture should be around -5, -10, perhaps -12. But we went really, really skewed, and what had happened is that they sort of evolved into apes, and they just held. And then they held and they held, and price went up to punish them up to the point where they exploded and they had to exit the casino. And so this is what we're seeing. We're seeing less shorts now, okay? So what would happen back in the day is that, they would go one way, but then they'd get stopped out. But recently they turned into apes, and they've sort of forgotten or neglected their risk management. And so when price goes up, they're like, oh, well, I can add on top. I'll just average. It should be fine. And then they're looking at their account and they're encountering like margin calls. So they're probably funding their accounts and then holding that bias. And then it's probably blowing up, after they've funded it, So it's just been very, very cruel this year. And it's been very much brought on by the bearish news events that we've had from Russia, Ukraine, and the Middle East as well. And they've actually legitimately risk-off events, but the herd have gone properly bearish, and there has to be someone to take the other side of that trade. Okay, so I'm just gonna, it's like a mantra of these videos is that we have to remember, whatever happens, if enough dumb money go one way, there has to be an entity to reverse that. Because we're talking about a large amount of liquidity. Okay, so I think what will probably happen is that we'll probably see it like a USD sedation. That will then sort of give way a little bit, and so it'll allow the risk to sort of stabilize, and then we can potentially start, rallying on risk. But I think what will happen is the first step is that a weaker dollar, and so we're seeing across USD, they're trying to bottom, and then once that's weakened, then we're going to see that VIX soften and it'll come down. Okay, but it may well depend on the other factors going on as well, and there are legitimately risk-off things going on in the world as well. Tuesday, oil is of note. Okay, so we've had a static flip. They were long and now they're short. It's really, really pumped today, and I'll show you that. So a bit of red on UK 100 and US 30. So at this rate, we could go into positive territory. So we might have a static flip on the Dow Jones. So I'm going to go straight into the indices now. In fact, I could probably show in Discord actually. Yeah, so basically this is yesterday's DAX, but they shorted it, so we did that. And we had this foray where we had like basically a pump from that. It's very, very accurate. Look at that. Boom. And it has to rinse those guys. They're like, I don't like this idea anymore. I'm going to sell. No, actually, I'm going to buy these guys who shorted it there. They got rinsed out. This is less short, okay? So they tried to sell, and they didn't like that, so they've exited. Okay, so it could be them going long, but I think it's less short. Okay, and that's the reaction there, and because of that, we should be below that box. So fairly bearish, and you could maybe argue we're back in that channel again. It's not the greatest channel, but it works okay. So, we may be in this bearish channel on DAX. And now this is really accurate. Okay, so I want to bring your attention to that candle wick, that rectangle. Okay, this is Memorial Day, and this was holding as a resistance. Okay, because they'd gone long, and well, actually they shorted it here, but then they went long, so we had a bit of a chop. And there's the reaction there. We just wicked slightly above it, and down we came, and now they're buying the dip. And because of that, this may be aiding the idea that we're going to be risk off if they had buy, so that VIX may not come down. I mean, obviously it will come down, but today it might be quite buoyant because the risk, the sentiment and the risk off flows that are going to develop because of the sentiment. Obviously if they go long, they're going to get punished, aren't they? And it's pretty accurate. And so we should be below this box. Okay, so they've gone long. So let's have a look. And well, admittedly we went above it. Quite naughty because they'd actually gone long, and now we've fallen. So down we came. So that worked out. Admittedly, they got paid here, but they shouldn't have. And so we had that wobble, which I said would happen in yesterday's video, and down we came. I want to show you oil, and oil is bonkers. So basically I was saying that they continued to shorts. It was mapping like AW. I don't know if you can see there's like a triangle, and then we were going to make this part, this harmonic. So X, A, B, C, this C, D leg is going to be up here, right? And so we are, we could definitely have made a bearish harmonic, but you wouldn't want to fade it because of the sentiment. Okay, this is what I was saying, is that the sentiment will win out, and it did. And it's going to possibly continue to pump because of this. We've had a static flip, okay? Now we have to remember when the indices finally flip that there's always going to be a wobble. So we have to be careful. You wouldn't just instantly go, right, I need to buy at the moment of the flip, because we're probably way overdone on today's average daily range, and then also looking for retracements always a good call. If you're buying now, you could be potentially buying that top, and we know we've got some resistance up here. Okay, so you've got to be careful. Don't just like leap in. It's really important. You're looking right. Well, I know it's a buy now. Is it a good idea to buy right now? Probably not. Would it be better to buy the retracement? Yeah, definitely. So you're looking for a small time frame entry, and you're getting signals on the 5-minute, 15-minute chart, and it's going, okay, so it's suggesting along, and it's a buy, so you should be fine. But I think buying right now could be a bit risky, to be honest with you. And Gold's interesting. Mr. Bosch has done fantastic. He's doing really well. 10R in a week. It's phenomenal, really. It's really good. And he's devised a system based on the ADX. So if you join the Discord, you have to ask me for to join that particular channel because he's developed some software that shouldn't be publicly available. It's something that he's encoded himself. And so if you want to get access to his software, you ask me, then I'll simply drag you into the appropriate channel. But he doesn't want everyone access because it's his own work, okay? And he should be charging people. And it's using his own proprietary software based on the ADX on the MetaTrader 5. Okay, so you will need a MetaTrader 5 because his coding is designed for that platform. So that's that. The robot didn't do particularly well today. It's quite frustrating because we had a really good day yesterday. I made some nice profits, and then today we had 2 losses. And obviously we had that Qashqai comment and the fact that we're going risk off. And because we're going risk off, we should see a stronger USD. Okay, and it's just one of those things that we can't anticipate at all. We are obviously probably well overdue a breather on risk appetite. So there was always that, but when does it happen? No one knows for sure. And the good thing about the bot is that it has a defined exit. All right, so we had some trades, And had we have had a much wider stop, we would have probably done a lot of damage. So we got out at 15 pip. So it's not bad. It's not too destructive, okay? And had we had a wider stop, it would have been potentially quite nasty. Okay, so we'll have to see how this goes. Obviously, the Twitter API is suggesting a sell, and it's triggered because we've had a strong sell on the technical indicators. So that's it. So we'll have to wait and see. Remember to check your VIX. Where is it? So it's quite high, and we are green. We're positive on the day. Okay, so you could probably argue we could be well overdue a breather on risk, and things like the commodities have been going absolutely bonkers as well. So we may see a strong USD. I don't know if you get any time, but look at the orange juice chart. It's absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely bonkers. The commodities are just going a little bit loopy and a little bit parabolic, and it's not normal. So we may be seeing a little bit of a breather with things, and we might see a strong USD, but I don't think we will. But it's potentially a scenario, where they might have to soften the USD because we can't have a strong dollar and a strong VIX. It would be too destructive. So we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like the herd of they're going less short, and they could be going long. And if they are, then we're going to reduce on the big picture, and then we're going to get closer to zero. And then once we go into positive territory, then we're going to have a pretty, well, I'm not going to say a big crash, but we'll see some heavy declines. Okay, so just, be advised about that. It may well happen this year. We're probably well overdue it, like I keep saying. So remember to trade safely, know your exits, and remember that the dollar is probably going to appreciate if we go risk off. So if we remain in this fear phase, anticipate more safe haven flows, okay? And don't forget we're coming to the end of the month as well. So that's that. So poor score on the technicals, and we've had a reduction on the big picture on the 24-hour as well. And pending that goes red tomorrow, we'll probably be in a state of fear, and we're going to probably see a strong USD. Okay, so maybe just a quick one on the bubble. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So currently the dollar is in the strong sell section, but if it moves, which I think might be likely, then we're going to see some strong performance on it. So currently what's happening is that they've gone long. They were long and added long, but they've got paid on their dollar bets. So we should be seeing small bubbles up here. We shouldn't be seeing large bubbles. So they're getting paid on CAD and they're getting paid on dollar. So that would be unusual, okay? And so that's that. So remember to trade safely. I'm around if you need me. And welcome to any of the new subscribers. So, thanks for joining. And we'll just have to see where we go. We're seeing the dollar is starting to move. And it's going to act as a wrecking ball, I think, potentially. And the one that is going to come into its line of sight is the euro. Because I think it's going to not come down here. It's going to go this way. And it's going to hit the euro quite hard. And it's going to hit the Aussie. Okay. So just have to see how we go. Trade safely, and I'll speak to you soon.